everybody. Welcome to another video where I do daily targets from CSS Battle, CSSBattle.dev from the past. These are from November 22nd, and there's the 23rd, and there's the 24th of November 2023. Let's get right to it. So I'm going to slot in. Again, the goal with these is to do the minimum code golf. How few characters of HTML and CSS can I do to replicate the shapes in the challenges? And so that's what I do. And I really had a lot of fun doing them. Here we go. 40, 50, 55, 55. So I'm now setting the margins on this element to try to constrain it to be exactly the right width and height. And then what we're seeing is a diff of the two things. And if it is perfectly the same, then it is pure black. And currently it is not pure black. So we got stuff we want to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm not sure if it's intuitive. In fact, I know it's not. But this shape, so what is the repeats here? What's repeating, and what can we do in terms of code? Can we do? I want to start with a conic gradient. We're just going to start left to right, top to bottom. What's the first conic gradient? So we would like to add the pink color. That's Gwen in the background there. A conic gradient, which is going to be transparent, 75% around, and then this pink color, 0. And then we would like it. So I'm going to put red in the background just to show you what's going on here. And really, I just want to see what's in this. So I put it in the top corner, and I don't want it to be to repeat. So I'm going to set no repeat. I do want it to be a repeating gradient, but for the time being, I don't want that. So I'm going to put this color into the background here. No, so that's fine. So I want it to be just this rectangle, this long, slim rectangle, because I think I can get it to the repeat here and here and here. So let's see what that looks like. So we need to make it wider, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then taller, 100, 130, 40, 50, 60. Okay, and then we need an at value. At, so the default is 50%, 50%, right? So there's that background. And if we set it, what, at 10%, 11, 12, 13, 12, so when I make that noise, that means it's not a very good number. I think it means 20 pixels is what we want. It's 20 pixels by 100, 120 pixels, maybe. So that's, and it's actually 120 pixels, 20 pixels, something like that. I think that's what that is. Nope, it's 130 over, no, 110, 110, there it is. So now when I put the repeat back on, I've got that shape. So far, so good. All right, so what's next? I'm going to make this transparent. So that's what we got so far. So what do I want to do next? How little code can I write to get the rest of it done? I could do, and do I want to use another element? Because I can very easily set a second element, right? So here's a second element, and I'm going to say background red. Okay. And set a height 100, and then margins, I can force those margins for it to come up. And you got to spell background right. There it is, 50. And can I put this right either with the border or without the border? All right, so let's see what we can do here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 200. And now we got that shape. What does that get us? What if we remove the background, we'll find that we've got that background is repeating, which doesn't do the job. But we could, interestingly, do what? A border solid pink. And we learned it was 20 pixels, we think. Okay. And then change that height to be, like what, 50? Maybe 60. And then the background is just a plain purple. And that gets a whole bunch of the rest of it. Is that good? Maybe. All right, so what do we got here? If we do red, that's the area that we are working with for the rest of this. So what can we do? We can do a linear gradient. Actually, can we do another kind of gradient that it's this size? And is that it? So a conic gradient that just does this shape and then repeats. Let's try that. So again, another conic gradient. And again, I'm going to set it to be in the upper corner. And 100 pixels by 100 pixels, that seems, an easy number you could keep in your head. And a no repeat. And let's just do red, blue. And now you can see it. So I want it to only be to these edges. So by setting the width 4, 5, oh, actually no, that's too tall, 90. Okay, so we're gonna look at the diff tool, 90, is it 100? 100 tall. Okay, and then 150 wide, 160, 70, 60. How about 55? How about 50? 150 wide. Okay, so we're going to do that same trick of red 75% and blue 0, and then change the at value at. So we think it's down. What is it down? 20, 40, 60, 80? Is it down 80? So 80 pixels down, and then it's how many over? 20, 40, 60, maybe it's 120. Let's see what that looks like. And then syntax-wise, CSS is pretty unforgiving, so don't forget your commas. Otherwise, you won't get you what you want. All right, so we're close. So now I think I'm going to replace red with this pink. Again, and then I can replace the blue with transparent so we can see through to the background. All right, so what's missing? Okay, what do we got? What do we got? We need to change this at value over 30, and then turn the repeat back on. Boom. Done. Great. So that's two conic gradients creating that shape. If I remove that, that's the so this is what we created on that element. So that gets at. So lastly, so if I put, okay, I'm going to put red in the background again. So that's the area that we have to work with now. So do we want another conic gradient, or can we do it with a linear gradient? Or a repeating linear gradient, potentially. Now, because of the, I think because of the complexity of the shapes, we can't, we want another conic gradient. And that's, that's fine. All right, conic gradient. And I think it's got to be this tall. 2040. So okay, so let's again. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So it's at, where's the center of that gradient? I think it's at 20 pixels, and then down 60 pixels, and then it's transparent 75% around, or 270 degrees, right? That's interchangeable. And then 0. And that's correct. So right now the repeat is on, and we don't have anything. And we could, we could move that. We could change it slightly, change the at values, and get different versions of this. But what we'd like to do is put it in the upper corner. So there's a crazy shape, right? So that's an interesting way to create seeming weird randomness. But I think if we just make it wider, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just by adjusting the width of the pattern itself, we can get it. And I think that's it. So remove that red. And that's the pieces. So it's complicated, yeah. Do we need this guy? Yeah, I mean, I think we do. Certainly the way we did it, we would make different choices if we hadn't put that in the center to begin with. But we can minify that and nip and tuck at some of the extra characters there. Again, this is my plugin that is on GitHub, available for you to use if you choose to. I don't believe I have any users that have given any feedback. If you use this, please do let me know. I'd love to hear about it. If you have suggestions or improvements, you could make a bug report. I put the URL for that in GitHub on every one of these videos that I do. So submit, and let's take a look. And that's good. We'll take it. Have I done the unit replacement? Another part of my plugin? No, I haven't. I'm going to redo that. And a little more nips and tucks. And that's a good solution. That's a good solution, and better solutions than I've done before. When it's telling me this new high score business, that means that as many times as you've submitted it, you've done worse times. And so I've submitted this one a number of times, and most of them are a year ago or 11 months ago, etc. And then some of these are just 6 seconds ago. All right, next. What do we got next? Oh, another complicated, fun one, huh? I think, again, that same approach that we just took is going to serve us very well. And I think that I've done this with a bunch of elements absolutely positioned, which is definitely legit. And it's a way to do this. But as we saw, I'm kind of a big fan of conic gradients, particularly for this kind of solution. And so I'm going to go for that. 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 72, 72, 1, 4, 5, 200, 220, 230, 240, and that covers the whole area. So how few things can I do? How few CSS gradients can I do to create this shape? So I think let's start with this conic gradient here. So what I want to do is a conic gradient, and I'm going to do, I think, so I'm going to start with black. Yeah, 75%, 250 degrees, and plonk. So that's what that looks like. That's a conic gradient with black to 270 degrees around. That's the black. And then the rest of it, or the remainder, 90 degrees of white. And it always starts at the top, unless you do a from value. So here we go. I don't want it to be there. I want it to be this and then to a repeat point. So I need no repeat. So I need 0, 0. I'm going to start with 0, 0. Actually, no. 50 pixels, 50 pixels, let's say. And then no repeat. Then I need a size. And there we already see the repeating happening. But I want to do no repeat just so I can concentrate my efforts to align things correctly. So 40, okay, and 40, 40, great. And then the width of that is not wide enough. 2, 1, 2, great. And then we change the at value, so that's the center of the conic gradient. Is what, 40 pixels, 40 pixels, and that is matching very nicely. So now if I turn off the repeat, that's what we get. Those are our squares. Great. And then I'm going to make this transparent again. So we got the first part of what we're doing. Very nice. So what are our choices? So any gradient we make is going to attempt to fill that area now, because we've got transparent looking through. In this case, it's for a 4 character. Most people are not used to seeing that. You could also do the word transparent. That's more characters. That's why we do hash and 4 zeros. Okay. Next. Do we want to do another part of the square? Can we do, so the trick here is that the size of this square, if we put one here in the center, we've got a problem. That the size of this one is a little bit different. So maybe what we do is we variabilize. So this is a good opportunity to variabilize this. So we go clump. There's that guy, and we're going to turn that into a variable. Dash dash g is this, and then we say var dash dash g. Okay, and then we do another one, var dash dash g. That's where it is by default, and you see that it's in the upper corner. But can we just put it over? If we do 50%, if we do 50 pixels, there we go. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so that's, I mean, we just keep doing that. We add a vertical. There's right in the middle. 2, 3, 2. All right. But we could also do that with a height, right? We can do, so that's interesting. How about 100%, 50%? I'm going to clobber that. So we need numbers that will make this repeat correctly. And right now it's 100 over and 0 at the top. So 0, there we go. Okay, so 100, 0, and let's make this taller. 75. How about 80? 80% tall. How about 85% tall? 84, 83. Those numbers are no good. 120 pixels. 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 75. Kind of want to see that by eyeball here, huh? 200 is just 200 pixels. All right, so that's fine. So that's the second one. Now, I haven't thought about the plus sign at all, and maybe that's a real mistake, huh? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Next. So there's in that top corner. And if I do 0 or 50%, 100 pixels, 50%, 100 pixels, and then do the same trick of that width is 200 pixels, and then the height is, actually that might be correct, isn't it? We just need the position to be a little bit different. The 0, there it is. So that's those squares. So what now, Joe? How do you do the rest of this? Because what's in the background now, we got to fill that whole area. There is no clean way that I know of, that I can think of right now, to do the rest of this without more multiple gradients. So why not? Oh, and in fact, actually, yeah, so here's the problem, is that the repeat here, if we make it so that this one repeats here, we've got a problem. So what we need to do then, maybe, what are our choices again? Could we create another element with the same? Okay, so here's the second element. Forgive me, this is a weird way to do it. And I just want to get it into position first. So background, red. Margin, we're gonna make it go minus 200. There it is. 50. 100. 2, 3. 2, okay, minus 180, 170, and then a height of what? Okay, so not high enough, right? We need to go a little higher. So we did want that, I think. No, we need even a little higher, minus 210. And then we need to be taller, 100, 110, 20. Okay. So now, what happens if we put that same, if we have the same, so you see that sort of oddness there? That's this background applied to the second element. And I'm going to put an outline around it, which doesn't participate in the layout. 2 pixels, solid, pink. So that shows you the element that we're working with, just for reference. Okay, so if we do just var g as the background, we get that. So let's move that over. 0. So it's 40 pixels over. Yeah, there it is. And then we give it a height. The height, if we make it 100% wide and 1 pixel tall, then it works. And then let's do that same thing. And this could be any number. I mean, it doesn't matter at, yes, but it could be anything, any number up to 40. 1 pixel. Is there, what's the 1Q? Yeah, 1Q I think would be the shortest that I can think of in terms of a unit. So let's do the same thing again, var g. And we want to, instead of that, it's at 50%, 40 pixels. Okay. and then the width is 1Q, and that gets the same thing. That's a nice solution. I like that. That's a very different way than I did it in the past. Is it weird? Yeah, it's weird. So that's all conic gradients, but this is, again, feeds into my, this is my favorite kind of gradient is the conic gradient, and I am unapologetic about that. So there you go. And resubmit, and then we're done with that guy. Great, super fun. And lastly, let's hit the blank template again, put background of that. We're going to put the margins on the element, and we have a few choices of how to do this. I feel like the trend is for conic gradients, and I think I'm going to not dissatisfy myself by varying from that. 58, 57. Let's get the right colors here. Solid color. Okay, and then we need to change the margins so that it slots into place. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a height 110, 20. All right, so this background is a conic gradient. I'm calling it that. This presumes that all of these are the same width here, and I think they are, but they might not be. So we're going to put it in the top corner and have it be 50 pixels by 40 pixels. Well, it's probably a height of, like, the background height is going to be 80 pixels or something, maybe 90 pixels, and do no repeat. I'm going to do the outlandish colors again, red, blue, so I can see it. I can see it very nicely. Okay, is it too tall? So here's where the bad colors, the silly colors, kind of hurt me. So I want to do red. So let's do. So we're gonna do. Usually I do an at or a from, but I think I'm just gonna do the color. So we're gonna say it's this dark green, transparent, and then the dark green again. So the dark green is this color to 90 degrees or 25%, and then transparent, 0 to 50%, and then that color again, and then add the color stop to 0. All right. And then we need to center that at 50%. 50% is what the current numbers are. Can we adjust those percentages to work correctly? So the vertical 40, 30, 29, 28, 27, no, 24, 23, oh, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So thirds, not a great number. How about 40 pixels? How about 30 pixels? And then, when we let it repeat, maybe we have it. Yeah, there it is. So resubmit, or submit for the first time, rather. And does this match? That matches perfectly. We'll take it. Nip and tuck at some of this code. Minify. Unit replace. No units to replace here. Take off all the characters we can. And we're done. So that's a fun set of CSS battles from November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Be good to each other. Make cool stuff with CSS. CSS is awesome. Make web pages. Make something. If you make something cool, tell me about it. Come to my website, artlung.com. Leave a message on the guest book or on any number of posts there. Send me an email. Get in touch with me on social media if you like. All good. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.